Talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out.
He had no dignity. That's what I was missing. There was no dignity. It just looked like a man desperate for attention. And whenever DeSantis was scoring points on him, he would interrupt over and over to try to talk over the points as just that's like a middle school debate tactic, which is pathetic and not.
When Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly took the stage together to question Gavin Newsom, it wasn't just another political interview, it was a raw dose of reality. They challenged him with pointed questions, cut through political doublespeak, and pushed for clarity on serious issues. This wasn't performance, it was accountability in real time. Their combined approach forced Newsom into uncomfortable territory, revealing cracks behind the polished image. For viewers, it served as a reminder that politicians work for the people, and the people deserve real answers.
And to these illegals who are now getting Medicaid in California, thanks to him. Illegals. So, this guy's priorities are not with keeping people safe at all. He doesn't care about the crime, about the illegals, and obviously not about the fires, which after the fact, hey, sure, so could somebody let me know how that happened?
The confrontation between Joe Rogan, Megyn Kelly, and Gavin Newsom felt like a battle between media independence and political power. In a time when many mainstream outlets shy away from hard questions, this was different. It was bold, confrontational, and deeply revealing. Newsom, known for his calculated responses, struggled to control the narrative. Rogan and Kelly weren't just asking questions, they were pulling the curtain back. Whether you're left or right, this was an unforgettable media moment.
What's going on? Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We got some ideas, especially.
I've got questions, sir. I don't find you to be a truth teller. Based on a long, long history of your...
For many viewers, this interview was a wake-up call. Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly didn't play it safe. They went straight for the truth, forcing Gavin Newsom to address topics he often sidesteps. From policy failures to political hypocrisy, they laid it all bare. The level of transparency and challenge in this segment is something you rarely see on live TV. It wasn't about taking sides, it was about demanding answers, and that's exactly what they delivered.
We begin with California Governor Gavin Newsom, who spent the weekend trying to avoid responsibility as the fires were still burning by dropping by the Pod Save America podcast for an attempt to clean up his own image.
I want to know the answers. So I'm the governor of California. I want to know the answer. I've got that question. I can't tell you about how many people, what happened. My own team saying what happened. And I want to get the answers. And
You're the governor.
It wasn't getting straight.
What makes this interview so powerful is that it reminded us of what journalism is supposed to do, hold the powerful accountable. Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly approached Gavin Newsom not with bias, but with boldness. They asked what others were afraid to ask. And in doing so, they gave voice to millions who feel unheard. The tension was real, the dialogue was sharp, and the exposure was undeniable. This was a moment that transcended politics and hit at the heart of leadership.
Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a fucking con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and you know that's a human being.
Some called it journalism. Others called it a setup. But one thing's for sure, Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly brought the heat. Gavin Newsom was clearly on the defensive as tough questions flew his way. Was it a fair takedown or political drama for the cameras? That depends on your point of view. But the issues they raised were real: public policy, accountability, and trust. Love it or hate it, this moment made people think, and that's what good discourse should do.
Newsom was basically almost burned alive. The governor of California. Take a listen.
We went up to one of the canyons on the fire, sitting there feeling we're a good quarter mile away. I'm not making this up, video to bear it out. All of a sudden, we see an ember, hits the tree goes on fire, 100 seconds. God is my witness, may have been 90 seconds. The house is in flames. I have embers of flames. They're taking it off my hair, and we're running back into the car. Winds are swirling around. Garbage cans were in the air, and we were getting the hell out of there.
Okay, why is he saying as God is my witness and I'm not making this up before he tells the story? Truly, like...
Some called it journalism. Others called it a setup. But one thing's for sure, Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly brought the heat. Gavin Newsom was clearly on the defensive as tough questions flew his way. Was it a fair takedown or political drama for the cameras? That depends on your point of view. But the issues they raised were real: public policy, accountability, and trust. Love it or hate it, this moment made people think, and that's what good discourse should do.
And do you see what Gavin Newsom said to him?
No.
Gavin Newsom said that you shouldn't be posting this. We're going to make it illegal. And I'm going to sign a law. And he said, "Professor, suck on these nuts."
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Elon retweets altered Kamala Harris campaign. Says manipulating voices in an ad like this should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is. And then he says underneath, "I checked with renowned world authority, Professor suck on these nuts." And he said parody is legal in America.
Oh my God.
What a wild dude.
Wow.
What a wild dude. Because he's not scared of those folks.
This wasn't your typical sit-down interview. Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly weren't interested in fluff or political niceties. They were here to break narratives. Newsom, often portrayed as calm and in control, was visibly shaken. The conversation took sharp turns, cutting into topics the mainstream media rarely touches. This is what happens when independent voices ask the hard questions. The truth doesn't always fit a script, and this live moment proved just that.
And on X, I addressed Gavin Newsom personally. He follows me, so I tagged him. And I'm going to be honest, I begged him to please stop this for all the reasons stated on our YouTube feed. And he didn't get back to me. But I think I was shooting at the wrong public official who follows.
Live TV leaves no room for editing or second chances, and Gavin Newsom felt that pressure. Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly brought their A game, cornering the governor on everything from state failures to national ambitions. Watching it unfold in real time gave viewers an unfiltered look at how leaders respond under pressure. It was raw, unscripted, and exactly the kind of journalism that's needed today. In the age of spin, this was a rare look at the man behind the podium.
Talking to local leaders, saying what's going on. Our state,
and you weren't getting straight answers from
I was getting
leaders.
different answers. When you start getting different answers, then I'm not getting the actual story.
So you decided the thing to do would be to go on Pod Save America to talk about it, because it's in the end, it's all about you. This is another David Muir, folks. He is just as vain and worried about his image in the middle of this emergency as David Muir with his little fake fireman's jacket and clothespins.
What this moment really showed is how media is evolving. Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly represent a new wave of independent voices that aren't tied down by corporate agendas. Their fearless questioning of Gavin Newsom was more than a political moment, it was a shift in media culture. Viewers don't want rehearsed talking points anymore, they want truth, even if it's uncomfortable. This wasn't just about one governor's secrets, it was about the public reclaiming the narrative.